Okay, day one. I was just over there loading up my bike in front of the hotel, and I meet my friend. I say, how I say your name? Don?
No, D-O-N.
D-O-N, Don.
No.
Don, and he's a Harley rider. He has an Ultra. So he came up to talk to me a little bit about the route, and he invited me over for a tea. And then you chase the tea down with this coffee. But what kind of coffee is this?
Head coffee.
Head coffee.
Yes, head coffee.
So we're gonna give it a shot. Talk a little bit about the riding in Vietnam, and then we're gonna get on the road. Okay, here's the situation. We have got the motorcycle all loaded down. Got my luggage strapped up, got my cameras on. The bike's looking good. A lot of people have told me this is the wrong motorcycle to be riding through Vietnam. They think I should be on something a little bit more like that. And I don't know that they're exactly wrong for giving me that advice, but this is what we have. It's gonna be completely comfortable, and I'm gonna make the most of it, enjoy it. And at the end, we will see if taking a motorcycle like a street glide across Vietnam is a good idea or a bad idea. In the end, they're all opinions until we give it a shot. Well, let's get this adventure started. I'm gonna have to let this thing reset, get moving. See where it wants me to go here. Hard to tell. Whew. So the first thing I'm going to point out to you is there's no stop signs. You see this? These are the intersections you deal with out here. I'm quickly learning it is just make your way. So find your hole, pick it, try not to hit anybody, and make your way. It is a bit hectic. I would say that is one of the biggest things I'm noticing, the difference between this and Thailand is literally absolutely no stop signs, as you can see. And everybody's just kind of going their route. And I was supposed to take a right there. We'll get the next one. And I reckon this is why everybody uses their horn so much, because there's no traffic signals. Yeah. This is definitely intense. Everybody just pushes their way in and around. I'm gonna try to get around this car. I don't know how successful it'll be. It's hard to tell on this map what direction I'm supposed to go. I'm gonna say this way. It is hard to tell. Here we go. I am not going the way that it wanted me to go. That's okay though. We'll make it work. Oof, what are we stopping here for? Okay. All right, we are running in a pack of scooters here down the road, and I'll be looking forward to get out of town. Our goal today is to head north and start a very famous loop, which is called the Ha Song Loop, and I'm sure I butchered the name. Please don't hold me hostage for that. I am in a lot of cities every single day, and probably the biggest criticism I get in my videos is I'll at least try to learn how to pronounce the names, but I can understand why somebody would feel that way. But when you're in this many cities in this short of town in this many different countries with this many different languages, it's just a little difficult. So please, little understanding for my situation. It's not a lack of effort, it is a lack of ability. So that said, we're gonna go ride the loop, which is supposed to be the most famous loop in all of Vietnam, and also the most dangerous. So it is supposed to be a very difficult loop, a pretty dangerous loop, and an incredibly beautiful loop. And I'm gonna take you with me. We're gonna find out just how incredible, how dangerous, and well, how difficult. So interesting, they have all these roads and lanes that are motorcycles not allowed or motorcycle specific. So for example, this thing I'm on right now is motorcycles only, no cars allowed, but the cars are riding right up there and up there, which I was not allowed on. And the problem is my GPS is not differentiating between the two. So I'm kind of having to guess. Look at this mess I got going on right here. So not only am I navigating some pretty unique driving techniques in this country, but I'm also trying to circumvent my GPS. And I don't have a motorcycle button on it for some reason to tell me which routes I can take on a motorcycle versus a car. Oh, we'll figure it out. They will carry absolutely anything on their bikes. This guy's got chickens. Looks like he's got a pigeon up there. and a passenger. I tell you, this is quite the experience. I hope you're enjoying sharing it with me. The world is a big place. They say the world's a small, right? Because you run into people you recognize everywhere. But it is also a big place because the culture is so diverse. So it looks like they're giving breathalyzers to people. Yeah, just random breathalyzers. Huh. That is one interesting way of doing that. Well, how beautiful is this lake? Just tucked in this mountain range. Kind of foggy and misty off in the background. But it is cool. It is definitely cool up here. I'm gonna take a stab at the temperature right now and say it is 65 degrees. So it's a little chilly. Not cold to me, but certainly brisk. This whole area has kind of a real gray hue to it. It's, kind of an overcast, foggy sky, and everything's just got kind of like this gray kind of dirt to it. It's not a real warm feeling area, and I don't mean the temperature. It's just kind of gloom, and it doesn't give you a real great feeling. This is not what I pictured as Vietnam, and I've been going through this kind of gloomy, gray, kind of dirt-covered area for, well, about an hour and a half now. And just the kind of the same dingy vibe, I guess. And now I don't say that to put the area down or speak poorly of the area. It's just an honest assessment. Even look at the flag. The flags are everywhere, but look how dirty they are and kind of tattered. And the whole area just doesn't give you a happy vibe. But that said, I've not stopped and talked to any people yet. The people may be super warm and welcoming, and this just may be the condition of the area, but it's stark difference visually and vibe-wise from what I experienced in Thailand, just one country away. So I don't know, just my assessment day one heading north into the mountains for what I'm anticipating to be some of the most beautiful riding I've done in my life. Well, now these are kind of some of the mountains I was expecting to see. Look at all the people working the fields out there. Chilly for sure. We've probably dropped a few more degrees. We're probably now down, I'm gonna say, in the high 50s, maybe the low 60s, but the scenery is certainly becoming more of what I was expecting out of the landscape. Still kind of gloomy though, absolutely no sun. And you have to be careful because around so many of these corners, vehicles are in my lane. They just don't respect the lanes on the traffic situation here, where the road's turning kind of to trash and building up here. And I think the motorcycle's pretty capable, but the suspension is starting to become obviously the issue. The bike size is good for sure, but I don't think it's adjusted to my load. I've bottomed it out quite a few times so far. Wow. Whew. Pretty cool. We're gonna stop and maybe get something to eat, look at the suspension and see if I can't get it dialed in a little bit better, because riding it like this for the whole trip would not be real enjoyable. I'm really wishing I had Legend suspension on here, because then I would know exactly how to address it and I know it would hold up. But we're gonna get it figured out. The difficult thing I'm finding day one riding through Vietnam is nothing. And I mean nothing is in English. So in Thailand, a lot of things were in Thai and English. Here, you can tell the English speaking tourism is pretty much non-existent. So now try to find somewhere to eat, and I'm even having a hard time identifying what the restaurants are. In Thailand, it was very obvious, the food, cafes, and vendors had a very distinct look. Here, it is much more difficult to identify what I'm looking at. I do, however, know I'm looking at a moped full of bananas there. Alright, food. This is for sure the most out of my element I've ever been in any country. 100%. The thing I'm noticing is the people really stare at me. I don't know if it's the motorcycle or what, but almost every, not so much the women, but almost every guy I go past. Okay, this is starting to feel like a market. Everybody's just got their food up on the side of the road. Hopefully somebody's cooking food over here, and it's not all just chickens laid out on a table. Oh man, I don't know. Hard to say what's going on here. I don't know, man. I can't even find a restaurant. This is great. This is what I signed up for. This is adventure. This is learning. I'm sure in a couple days I'll be navigating myself just fine. But day one, yeah, I'm struggling a little bit. That looks like a picture of food. So I'm gonna say this is a restaurant. Hopefully they're open. I don't see any lights on. Oh man, I don't think they are open. Dang it, man. I'm striking out here. No, I don't guess they're open. Definitely a restaurant. Not open. Oh man. Okay, I have finally found a restaurant, and these gentlemen asked me to join their table. And they have what they're telling me. This is what now? This is duck. Duck. So they're wanting me to taste the duck. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it here. Wow. This is good. Mm-hmm. What is this?
Nóng. Đậu tẩm hành.
Tongue?
Đậu tẩm hành. Nóng. Thôi.
Oh, blow on it. It's hot.
Oh.
Okay.
Ok. Thôi. Oh. Nóng. Oh.
Nóng là gì?
Háo.
It's hot.
Hey.
Okay.
Ăn xong là
They're drinking beer. I am not. I'm having orange soda. But we're gonna cheers. Okay, now they want me to try this one. I have no idea what this is. What is this? What is it called? Cow? Offal?
Cow.
Offal. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I'll put it in this. Okay.
Ok.
It's tough. It's okay.
Ok không?
It's okay.
Ok. Rất ok.
Okay. That was quite the experience. Those guys were really friendly, but very loud, right? Very different than again, in another way, so different than Thailand. I guess I just expected them to be more similar. But these guys were extremely friendly, very friendly. Fed me their food, tried to talk with me, tried to communicate, even though, well, you saw how it went. We weren't real good at it, but we were happy and we enjoyed a meal together. And I got myself a hotel for the night because I really need to look at this loop and where I'm going and what I'm doing, because the temperatures are indeed dropping fast, and I may want to head south and come back and do this loop maybe in the spring or fall or possibly even summer. That, my friends, is the beauty of doing a trip with no plans, 100% solo. I get to make all the decisions and I get to make them in the moment. I suggest you do this. Take a trip, no plans, 100% solo, or with a friend who is 100% easygoing, and be amazed at the different scenarios and how the trip plays out. You meet so many more people and you experience things so much differently solo with no plans. Right inside here Well, this place is extremely nice. Take a look. This is going into my room. Beautiful bed. Nice dresser. Vanity. Nice shower. Yeah. Yeah, this is nice. Overlooking the town. Not overlooking the town, but nice balcony. Anyhow, I suppose someone's a smoker. That's a nice thing to have. $31 I paid for this tonight. There were places in town for like as cheap as $8. I just didn't want to risk it right now because I'm still getting acclimated. Look at this. Look at this closet. That's a nice closet. I'm just getting acclimated still. And I just wanted something I knew I'd be comfortable in to do some more research. I've done zero research. If you guys followed my Thailand videos, you know I made the decision to come here in like one day. So I need to just do a little, I need to do just a little research. Sorry, you caught me. I was just looking at their vanity. They got that book sitting there. Just caught my eye mid-sentence. I may walk around town a little bit. We'll just see what happens.